Okay, now we can start. Now we can start. Now we can start. Anyway, welcome back to
Man.
Hear Me Scream. Don't cut me off. I'm doing this right this time. Even though I did screw up the scheduling because I'm like 6 days late on the previous week one. Let's not get into that one.
Just start your goddamn intro.
Anyway, welcome back to Hear Me Scream. I have no idea which number it is because I am completely lost. The Navy sucks. Anyway, I'm here with my co-host again because why not?
Why not?
And last week I made him watch 3 movies in a row, which I can just say right now is like, was that fun though? Was it?
Listen. Okay, some parts were fun. Some parts weren't fun.
It did drag because I guess that's what happened when you watch like an almost 6 hour, but still.
That's what happens when you binge watch anything, really. It's way more enjoyable to watch something in, like, let's say, 2 episodes or 3 episodes per day rather than watching 10 episodes of a show per day. Even if you might like the show, it's more enjoyable watching it in short, in shorter time spans, because your brain starts to space out after like 45 minutes or so of paying attention, right? And when you just binge watching something, your brain just kind of phases out at some points, especially if the thing that's going on that is not really entertaining to you. Yeah.
Oh well, no, yeah, but and what did I want to say? I completely blacked out because I was just focusing on the audio because I am using OBS and because I am using Discord instead of Skype this time. So it's like, oh, this is just a foreign concept. Anyway, I guess we should talk about the fact that compared to movies and series, you watch a lot more than I do in a general level.
Kinda. You don't really watch movies. I mean, you don't really watch anything.
I know.
You just kind of play video games.
Yeah, I do watch a lot of YouTube commentary for some reason. They're a perfect background distraction, that's for sure.
Yeah, but that's different.
Anyway, lately with the Navy though, I have been watching a lot of series and like series in general and some movies as well. And that's where I discovered the topic of today's podcast, Madoka Magica. And we're going to be talking about the 3 movies that were released. And I have forced, I guess, to watch all 3 of them with me.
Quite fun.
Yeah, so like, what was your thoughts on all of them? I don't know how should we start talking about one by one of the movies, or
Probably. Otherwise, this is just gonna be an utter mess.
no? You're implying that the other ones aren't. Anyway, the first one being Madoka Magica Beginnings, and he covers the first 8 episodes of the anime. Actually, I think.
Really?
Yeah, the original one is like only 12 episodes long, and the first movie covers around 8 of it. And like, right off the bat with the first 2 movies, you can tell that they were originally an anime series condensed into a movie.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't. It was obviously just like a. They took the anime and they just made a compilation, so it makes sense into a movie.
With better visual and audio.
But like the movies were like 2 hours long, all of them. Like the first movie was like 2 hours, and the second one was an hour and 50, and I think the third one was an hour and 52.
Yeah.
So it's not like they cut that much off, because you said that the first movie is 8 episodes, right?
Yeah.
Well, approximately, I think 6 episodes is around 2 hours, right? But that's if you count the intro, outro, and like unnecessary part where they repeat the things from last episode, because obviously it's something that came out weekly. But that's why they do that, right? And if you cut off all of those parts, it does become. They had enough time to do it. It's not like where they try to condense, like, let's say 30 episodes into 2 hours, and it just doesn't work.
No,
which is a problem that lots of.
No, yeah? You go. You're the professional one here because I have no idea.
The problem is, at least that I see usually when you watch movies that are based off a series, right? A TV show, an anime, whatever. Is let's say the 30 hours to develop the characters, the story, and shit like that. the movie has 2, right? But in this case, it worked out because the original show it wasn't that long, so they could put everything into 2 movies, so it was fine.
And out of the 3, you can tell like the one that fitted the movie quota was definitely the third one because it was made without the original anime, so it was like its own thing, so it worked out way better than the other 2.
Well, yeah, but that is to be expected, you know?
And some part they omitted, some of them make sense, and some of them did it like Mommy's Wish, which is like kind of important thing because like making a wish is kind of a big thing in the anime. It was just completely omitted in the movie, which is weird in my opinion.
Yeah, I guess they just want to say sometime.
You say that again. Anyway, and I remember when you, like the thing with Madoka Magica is like it's a series enjoy where you know nothing about it. So when you watch the first couple of episodes, you'll be like, "Oh, this is just another cutesy girl, magical girl anime." Because I remember when you were watching the movie in the beginning, you were so skeptical about it, but then the minute they showed the first witch, your mind is like it went the other way around.
Oh yeah, the bitch pulled out a bazooka and shot the demon thingy, and it died. I wasn't expecting that.
No, in general, the witches' designs are so out of the world. Like they're not made by the same traditional animation style. It's made like with paper cutout and stuff. It's like their design wise is visually really well done.
I mean, if they made anime would be as appealing as it was. The thing is about the anime is that it's visually wise very appealing to watch, even the fights, you know. That's something that's going for itself, right? And it's unique with the whole paper cut things and shit like that's not something you see very often, especially in anime. So yeah.
Like, and especially just cuts you off moment. Especially, I remember when Mommy's death scene happened, you were taken aback by it for a second. You were like, "Wait, did she fucking die?" Which I said the exact same thing when I watched the original series, by the way.
I mean, I wasn't expecting that. Like she was talking that good shit, and I was like, I can't die. I got this. 2 minutes later, bitch gets eaten alive, and I was like, damn, alright.
And the character's reaction was even better. It's like you can tell they just witnessed a murder right in front of them. They're like, "Yeah, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
So any stand-up
aspect of the show is good.
Wait, pardon me?
I was just gonna say the aspect of the show is good. Like it really catches you off guard. Quite a few instances.
And I remember, I forget, was it in the second movie or the first one where they started showing the different timelines? The minute they started showing the first scene from the beginning anime. Pardon me?
Second movie.
Yeah, okay, I guess we're jumping the gun here, but I remember the minute they showed like the timeline resetting and you see Homura again being very timid compared to her original scene, you were taken aback of it, and you thought the worst case scenario, didn't you?
I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, I was like, what happened here? Did they just do the ReZero thing where they just restart everything? It's like, what the fuck?
It's like, oh no, time traveling. Oh no, but the movie, not anime, I don't know what to call it. The anime does a really good job with the time travel thing. Is what I mean by them. They just go back in time and they do not bother going to the future. In my opinion, it's for the better, and different timelines as well.
Yeah, I mean, so it's not disturbs the plot, you know, makes everything funky. So it's fine.
It's written in a good way.
Yeah. True. It was interesting to see how the story progresses though, because lots of things that you would think wouldn't be explained do get explained. It's just something you gotta give the movie credit for, you know.
Oh, especially with
like, for example, why is the main character so important? Like, you know, it really isn't, but then you find out why she's important, you know.
No, yeah, you're expected to be another cliche like, oh, she's special because like she's the main protagonist, but then you realize it's because of this action by another character. It's like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So that's something you gotta appreciate.
Any stands out moment from the first movie that caught your attention? Like any moments you genuinely like?
Uh, that was cool.
Pardon me, can you repeat that?
I liked in the first move where I said the bitch died. I don't know, I forgot her name. Honestly.
Sayaka or Mommy?
Let's say both.
Nope.
Both of the deaths were entertaining. What else? I liked the fact that in the first movie they explained what witches are. It's basically the magical girls that just at the end of their lifespan they become witches. It's like an event. It's something you can't avoid. It's just gonna happen eventually. So that was cool. You know, it made the world feel more like it has more depth to it. Right?
Especially how the characters react to Cupid. Cupid in general, he's such a... I won't call him weird, but it's like... Are you supposed to like him, hate him? But then in the end, you just sort of hate him.
You're not really supposed to like him or hate him. The way I look at it, it's like... The guy really doesn't care. He doesn't have any emotions, you know? He's not like... Neither does he feels angry or wants to fuck him over. He's just there to do his job, and that's what he's doing. Whether you agree with what's happening is your own thing. It's your personal opinion. That's no reason to dislike the character, you know?
Yeah, I agree with you when it comes to the first two movies, but with the third one where they try to take over God, I say like, yeah, that's just a dick move to do in general.
Yeah, it is. It is a dick move, but in the third movie they really made way more dislikable, you know.
Yeah.
And the first and second movie I just kind of looked at it as like a neutral thing.
Yeah, like a great character.
Yeah,
like
it has a job it has to do, and it's doing its job, and it's not really killing anybody or it's not really forcing you to do anything. You're agreeing to it by yourself.
Yeah, and it's sort of the end of the first, like in the second movie, we're like, oh yeah, our relationship now is better compared to the first timeline because they're fighting not witches anymore, they're fighting the race things. So it's like, oh, that's cool. But then the third movie just completely destroys that, but that's when we get to that.
The third movie just kind of... The third movie just kind of deleted that.
Yeah. Which also makes sense, but still.
Kind of.
For me, another standout moment for the first movie is definitely Sayaka's like descent into despair. I like is like her fish is really dumb, and even the characters around her say that. And then in the end, she's like, "Yeah, that was fucking dumb of me." And
who was that again?
The blue-haired girl. You just for some reason hate it, and it's weird because that's a controversial opinion in the fandom, I guess. I actually have no idea what the Madoka Magica fandom is, by the way.
I really don't care. I couldn't be bothered less, honestly. Look, I disliked her character, but at the end, I liked her character, right?
Oh, she has good development, especially in the third movie.
Had development. But if we ignore, but that doesn't change at the beginning. I hated the character, you know. Whether you like a character at the start, you hate it towards the end, doesn't change that you liked her at the start. That's what I'm talking when I say I hated her. Like, I didn't like her at the start. At the end, it's not like I liked the character, but I didn't hate the character. You know, it's one of those where you just acknowledge the character's growth. You're like, okay, that's sick.
No, and they're like, the anime and movie do have some differences. Like overall, they had like a better animation budget. Like animation, why all three movies just look really well, but some of the music changes is absolutely weird. I know you did not, but since you haven't watched the original series, so you wouldn't notice it. But for me though, I have, and it's like, why change that scene's music to that one? Sometimes it worked, like with Charlotte, the cake witch, if you remember, the one that killed Mommy. It had like new music, and it's about cheese, and it's like a really good song, by the way. But then Sayaka's turning into a witch, that had a completely different new score, and I have no idea if I should like it or not. It's disappointing. But overall, the soundtrack is really good.
Fair enough. You said it yourself. I have no idea what you're talking.
It's just music is fun, guys.
I never watched the original anime, and I'm never gonna watch it, honestly.
Yeah, if you watch the first two, you've pretty much seen the anime, actually.
Yep. I mean, that's the point of it, though. You know, it's not supposed to be that different from the anime. In the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, okay. But another aspect of the first movie is definitely Homura's character. Like in the beginning, she's like a cold-hearted bitch, and then at some moment you see her character spill out. Like when she confronts Madoka in the fountain scene, where she just bursts into crying. It's like, why does she do that? Why that's sort of out of character. Then in the second movie, it explains everything. It's like, oh, mental bitch.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's something that at the beginning I was like, why does she care so much? You know, that's something I was wondering. And they did explain why. I was like, okay, sick. That's something I give the show credit that most of the questions you have, if not every question that you have about it, will eventually get explained, which is something to acknowledge. You know, that's a good thing.
Especially towards the third movie, because I remember when we watched the beginning, we were like, yo, is it just a massive fucking retcon?
Well, we're gonna get to that, right? So let's go to the second movie.
Eternal. Madoka Magica Eternal.
Basically the end of the anime.
Yeah, with the 4 episode. Like, the biggest highlight is, I guess, like, the ending and with Sayaka's death with the witch, Octavia, that's one.
Oh, going back in time thing. Plot.
Yeah, that as well. Which is just fun to see.
Yeah. The second movie is pretty much a conclusion to everything. Like just why is the main character that gets explained? Why does the home run as I call her, like the main character so much? That gets explained. Well, you see the blue-haired bitch die. Sick. You see the redhead bitch die too. And then you see the final fight, which is pretty epic. And
yeah, well, Parker's not the witch's last wish. That was just like, oh, it just gets cooler and cooler and cooler.
You know, when the main character, right? If you've seen the movie, you're probably gonna know which scene I'm talking about. Where she wishes for her wish to get rid of the witches, and you see her teleporting to all of the magical girls that are gonna become witches. I was so hoping that she would kick them, right, or hit them when she teleports in front of them. I was just gonna make the anime sick. I thought it was gonna be quite funny, but it didn't happen. She teleports in front of them. She's like, "It's okay, it's fine, everything is okay now." Boom, right in the face, but nothing.
Well, that's one way to look at it, I guess. For me, that did not came across my mind at all, because like, oh yeah, they're dying. That's cool.
I told you that. Remember you like with you. But yeah, that was sick. 10 out of 10.
What's her name again? Madoka? Yeah, punching the fucking girls in the face before they die.
You like that?
Back to Madoka hitting them before they're dying, apparently. That's what you thought.
Yeah, that's what I hoped for, at least.
Yeah, I guess the movie can't please everyone.
Indeed.
But
oh yeah, there's really not much to say about the second movie, honestly. Like,
there's some points I want to say.
What'd you say?
There's some moments I did like. Apparently, one of them is Mommy's breakdown, I guess you can say. Like, in a different timeline, when they find out, like, oh, we become witches, she took it so personally that she's like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna kill you, everyone, and then kill myself, by the way. It's like, damn, girl. Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, I won't say it's unexpected, honestly.
Oh no, it's actually really good in her character if you think about it. She's like the mother type character. She doesn't do it because she hates him. She's like, this is a really bad fate and I'm gonna protect you from it anyway, just die. It's like, oh damn, girl.
Yep.
It's like taking it to extreme.
The funny thing is how random it is. Not random, but just how the blue is. You just see, you watch the characters talk and then out of nowhere, bam, one arrow, bitch dead.
It's just like, it just happens in a split second. You're like, oh damn, girl. Now she's on the floor.
Yep. But it does make sense because when I was watching it, I was like, yo, isn't it better for them just to die while fighting rather than just stay alive until the very end because they become witches at the end? So
yeah, especially with Mommy's characters, like she did it at like she thought of it through because the first thing she. No, yeah, you go.
I was just gonna say I like Madoka, who's gonna become like the fucking strongest enemy. That's probably unbeatable. Or probably is unbeatable.
Actually, we'll end the world in like 5 days or something.
So you don't really want that to happen, you know. Kill her or she's not gonna fight back. Yeah.
And one thing I noticed when the whole scene is actually mommy, the first thing she do, she stop Homura so she wouldn't stop time. So that's like, oh yeah, that's a cool thing to do. And then she just killed Kyoko first because she was the one to attack first. And like, yeah, that's a nice moment.
Fair enough.
In general, the movies in general have a lot of what you call it, foreshadowing apparently, and it's like, and it's always like the split second frame where it's like this word is in Latin, but if you translate to Latin, it literally says "bitch is the fucking witch" in the end. So like, oh, that's interesting.
Sick.
Yeah, like the third movie has it a lot. I guess we should get into that. No, in the second movie is also show the wish for like they finally show Madoka's wish. That whole scene is like, damn, I get to become God.
Yeah, that's pretty much the ending of the movie, though.
Mm.
And then she's like, "Well, you see, I am God."
And then she just leaves Homura behind a
Guess
lot.
what?
And you will think like in the end of the movie, it's like, oh, that's a good thing. Now Homura can fight for the world from Madoka. That's all good and dandy. And then you watch the third movie.
Yeah. So let's go to the third movie.
Oh, the beginning is the fucking confusing part.
The third movie is fucking horrible. Like, at the beginning is horrible because if you finish watching the first two movies and you start watching the third movie, you're gonna think that the third movie is just a complete retcon and just it contradicts everything you've seen before. But turns out no. Turns out Homura is locked in her head, like in a,
Because of the incubators.
because of the guy from Persona 5 who's a cat. Yeah, that guy.
And Morgana.
Yep. Well, because of that, she's locked in this hallucination type of thing.
Like
Rome.
the anime, and I think the
She created it inside of her head.
Yeah,
because
it's
she's
called,
turning into a witch.
yeah,
Or something.
it's called a witch barrier. They explain a witch barrier.
That's something you find out at the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then progressively, just throughout the movie, she's like, okay, something's off here. She finally starts to notice, and then the more she keeps on going, the more shit goes down, and the more she finds out that she's actually turning into a witch. The Morgana is preventing her from becoming a witch, because in the universe things would change. So if you're gonna become evil, you would just disappear. You would just die immediately.
And you'd be taken as a part of the law of cycle.
Basically, you become one with God.
It's like a paradise for magical girls is apparently full of lesbians. Personal headcanon.
I can respect that headcanon. But yeah, so that's pretty much the third movie. Just the story is pretty good. It's a good twist. It's something I didn't really expect to be happening. The animation is. If you think the first two movies had good animation, the third movie is miles ahead.
Oh, the fucking transformation scene for the girls, that was just really well animated, especially Madoka's and Homura's part, because they literally spoiled the entire movie if you just pause in that one single frame that literally says witch on Homura's head. I was like, huh, that's interesting.
So something I liked though was the fight scenes, especially the fight scenes at the end where everything just goes to shit, kinda.
Oh yeah, it starts out with like another like countdown where it goes like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is like, and then you see Homura's witch for the first time. I think it's called Hamuli or something, some mystical ass shit like that.
I have no fucking idea.
And then it starts with Bebe, the little witch from the one that kills mommy transformation scene, and then it just goes 1 to 10 just really fast and in a good way.
Yeah. Overall, it's quite a good movie.
Definitely my favorite out of the three.
Yeah, the twists are good, stuff like that. The fighting scenes are pretty good. The animation is top.
The one with Mami and Homura is one of my favorite one. Like the gun show is like cool.
It reminds me of the Matrix, okay.
Oh wow.
I didn't even watch the Matrix, but it vibe where everything is in slow motion. Time has stopped and they're shooting guns and shit, and the bullets are clashing. It's sick. You know, if you're not gonna watch the movie, just search out the fight scenes in YouTube. You're probably gonna have a fun time, even if you don't know what the fuck's going on.
And the movie even had like
It's the most enjoyable part of the movie.
And the movie itself had like low moments as well, where there's no fighting. Like the part where Homura discovers she's a witch with her experiments of leaving her soul gem behind, and she goes with the bus or something. That whole moment where she just discovers she's a witch, that's like really well executed.
But yeah, something that I guess I disliked. I'm not sure if I disliked it about the movie. Honestly.
Okay, before going to the dislike portion, let me just mention another scene I really liked. It was the part before Homura comes out as a witch form. You have this weird scene with her and Madoka in this field of flower, and then Madoka just T-posing because she's God. That whole scene was just Homura falling into depression and accepting the fact like I'm turning myself into a witch just to fuck with Kyubey. That's just a really cool. I'm gonna take this moment and the head moment for me. I just like that scene.
Fair enough.
So what was the thing you disliked about it?
The ending. I don't know. The ending pretty much retcons the ending from the first movie. I mean, it doesn't retcon it, but it switches it, right? Like in the first movie, the main character is God, right? In the third movie,
the continuation.
She God, and she fused with half of God, and the other half of God was left on Earth, and she didn't knew she was God.
No,
and that's the end of the movie.
And then just it ends on a cliffhanger. That was cool, I guess.
It's on a cliffhanger, yeah, and it's like, it's like, fine, fuck you.
No, I do like the implication, like, no matter what Homura does, like, Madoka, if she just questioned her existence, she's like, oh yeah, I'm fucking God, peace out, son, and she's like, oh.
But yeah, I don't know how to feel about the movie, honestly.
Yeah, but that moment where she's like, oh, Madoka, I waited for so long, and then the movie just completely turns on the head and shows what the hell Homura is gonna do to her, that was another moment that just completely catch me off guard, personally.
My bad, I was looking at something else.
You know, it's okay.
I'm professional too.
Don't worry, I think I'm gonna keep it short because I'm trying a new recordings function and I'm just scared like the minute I close this.
That's on.
And then looking through the audio, then I realized, oh, Pret, I was muted this entire podcast. I was just gonna be like,
Sick.
I can already tell the audio is gonna be absolute shit, by the way, so don't mention that.
Alright, also, yeah, fucking the lag is really getting annoying.
Already, I need to. Oh, man, this is gonna be another.
It's fucking horrible.
Oh, no.
Half of the time I have to fill in the gaps, you know, like I'm playing a mini game here. You talking? It cuts you. Like, okay, I'm guessing he said that. You know, jeez. So I recommend getting an Ethernet cable. You fuck.
Money is a thing. I don't get paid enough by the government, and it's not even a joke. I just do not get paid enough by the government.
Ethernet cable isn't that expensive.
Oh yeah, first of all, I need a fucking connector that connects the internet to make sure it goes upstairs because I live in a 2-story house.
Oh, it's not my problem, you're rich.
Yeah, definitely not rich. Just welcome, come anyway. Another thing I liked about the movie, again, is the last scene where all the magical girls is fighting against Homura. The song that plays in the background is called Misterioso, and just like that fitted the mood perfectly.
I can agree with that. But I genuinely don't have much to say about this movie. I don't know if you've noticed this, but
no, it's
in
like
general,
hard to pull out the runtime.
It's kind of hard for me to talk about this. The more we talk about it, the more I start questioning why I agreed to do this podcast, because I'm not saying I didn't like the movies, and but they just weren't my thing, you know. I did enjoy. I did enjoy the story. I enjoyed the plot twists, to be more specific, and I enjoyed the fact that it explained things that, you know, some different shows wouldn't even bother explaining. So it made sense. The plot twists were good, and the story were good, and the fight scenes were actually pretty sick. I did enjoy the fight scenes where, like, you know, tits, guns. Who wouldn't enjoy that? Honestly,
They're like 15 years old, dude.
You know,
okay, the audio is completely cut out, but I think that's for the best.
Listen, the point is the fight scenes were good, and everything else was pretty solid. But it's not really my thing, right? I'm not the target audience for that for sure, and yeah, that's why I don't have that many things to say about it.
Next time we should talk about the Silence of the Lamb, which is a movie you recommended to me, and I actually watched it, and I think we never mentioned it again, by the way.
You were just asking for a good, what was it, psychology?
Yeah,
thriller?
psychological movie.
Psychological horror, and I was like, I genuinely don't watch that many horror movies because I think they're dog shit in my opinion, but that's a different story. So I was like, okay, which one? And I was like, okay, Silence of the Lamb, that's pretty good. And we never, yeah, I think you just sent me a text that you liked it, and I was like, sick. That was it.
Our conversations are deep and intellectual. We should do one of Bloodborne one day. That's gonna be a fucking shit show.
That's gonna be a fucking fiesta. You know, we never talk about that. That's not talking
Actually,
about it.
I'm telling you now, I'm gonna do another third playthrough of Bloodborne, and I'm gonna mention you the fact that I fucking love Bloodborne. It's gonna happen. It happened with Sekiro.
Yeah, before that you were complaining about how shit Bloodborne is.
No.
That's just the type of person you are. You're like, this is so shit. Plays the game 5 times. You know what? It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's like, I need to taste the meal 5 times. Umbrietta is such a fucking piece of ass.
You weird.
Now the days go by in the Navy where I don't think of that fucking tentacle beast. It's like, macaroni.
You see kids, and that's what you do. That's why you don't let people watch hentai.
Anyway, overall, Madoka Magica is definitely not a movie you can close your brain off and watch the fight scene though. Definitely not, because there's a lot of talking in this movie.
No, but you can definitely just search up the fight scenes and enjoy them on YouTube without knowing the context behind it. It really talk that much during the fight scenes. You know, they talk more while they just stalemated in the fight, you know, stuff like that. The fight scenes aren't that long either. They're like 2 minutes or so at most.
True.
They're kind of short fight scenes, but
I think
that's why you can enjoy. That's why you can enjoy them. You know, if you haven't watched the movie, you're just watching clips of the fights.
I think we can agree on that out of the 3 movies, we did enjoy Rebellion, the third one, more than the other 2. Because that was made, obviously, as a movie first.
It was meant to be a movie.
Yeah.
That one was meant to be a movie. The other 2 were just compressed. The series compressed into 2 movies.
It did an okay job. As like, it's better off if you watch the anime first, the 12 episode, and then watch Rebellion movie. So I screwed that experience up for you. Like, oh well, making me fucking context. I really can't complain.
Yeah, but honestly, I probably would never get around to watching the anime.
That is right. The first year down the throat.
Like, if you didn't force me, I would probably never watch the movie to begin with, you know? If I was by myself at least, because it doesn't, if you don't know anything about it, and you don't know what you're getting into, there's no way, if you don't like the cutesy anime thing, you're gonna wanna watch it, right? It makes sense. But because I knew that it wasn't gonna be that, because you wanted to watch it that much, I was like, okay, there's gonna be something here that separates it from the cutesy stuff, and there was. It was just like it was like clickbait, you know. On the outside, it looks like a completely different show than what it is, you know. So that was nice.
It was too deep for me.
That was a good surprise, but like I said, overall, really not my thing. I'm genuinely kind of struggling to see who's the main audience for this type of series.
Yeah, I don't know
'Cause-
either because I don't watch a lot of movies and I still don't know what genre I will put Madoka Magica in, by the way. I don't want to be like, oh, it's just an anime because like that's just a fucking broad statement.
Yeah, but like if we will from the anime side, you get like the Shonen Jump anime, which is like fighting and stuff like that.
Which I do
Post
not
war.
know much. Like if you want an hour touch, just fucking talk to this guy.
If you want like, I don't know, the psychology side, everybody's gonna talk about Death Note, right? Because it's the most
Oh, that
watched
is a
one.
really
It's
good
the
one.
most. It's a good one, but everybody's watched it and has watched it, and everybody's talking about it. And so I know Death Note's ending wasn't that good, but
It was borderline bad. I'm saying it was bad.
We don't talk about it, okay? We pretend like it didn't happen.
Like the fucking
Yeah,
Netflix
but-
movie, which we both did watch for some reason.
Didn't we watched it once or twice? Why do you think we watched it twice? I don't know.
No idea. I think we both agree on that. On the first watch, we were like, yeah, okay, we're never watching this again.
Yeah, it was once. That shit was horrible.
Yeah.
That shit was so ass. But that was the good thing of it, you know. It was so bad that it was entertaining, right? I think that's something else you got. Something is bad, you know. As long as it's really bad and you can be entertained with how bad it is, it's not that bad, right? If that makes sense.
Yeah, but
But if something is boring, right? If it's just it's bad, but it's not bad to the point where you can make fun of it. It's just boring, you know. It's like a half-done attempt, you know. That's even worse than just being a horrible movie that you can make fun of, in my opinion.
I'll take your word for it because, like, do not watch that many movies. Like, the worst movie I ever saw was definitely the Death Note movie.
And that wasn't a good movie. That's not really got the short end of the stick. Like the other thing is about the Death Note movie, they really did try to make it seem like it wasn't from an anime and it wasn't from Japan, you know. Like if you watched the movie, you can kind of notice like they're trying.
Americanization.
Yeah, they're trying to hide the fact that it's Japanese because.
And I'm not talking about L's
Well, I guess it's not
ethnicity
cool.
change, by the way.
Oh, I'm talking about everything in the movie.
Yeah, that's just that.
Well, now that you mentioned, I didn't even notice about the way Elle looked. Right, I completely phased out. It's just in general, the movie is kind of dumbed down. Like the Death Note movie is dumbed down from the original. First of all, and second, it's just they're like, okay, this is not an anime. This is not Weeaboo. This is people, and just kind of no.
It doesn't have like Death Note already had like different live action movies. I think it even had a fucking Spanish musical, or I'm thinking wrong. But like,
I think it had a Japanese musical.
yeah, we're gonna make money
yeah.
somehow.
True. But that's completely off topic.
Speaking of topic, fuck, this entire podcast is off topic because I've never mentioned anime like a single time in this the previous ones, you know.
And it's a weird one to talk. Madoka Magica, like I said before, doesn't fit into anything. There's no genre that I can think to put it in because it's a fighting anime, but it doesn't look like a fighting anime, right? It's not a cutesy anime. It's not a slice of life. I don't know what the fuck it is.
That's a fucking clusterfuck. Also, the fucking concept movie for the fourth movie they're gonna make is like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, the fourth movie is either gonna be good or it's gonna be shit. I don't think there's gonna be an in between.
No, it will really make or break the series, like the movies for me, if you ask me.
The fourth,
Yeah, like if it's a good movie, it's like, oh yeah, the other three.
because it's probably gonna be the ending of the series, right?
I have no idea. Also, there's a lot of side concept when it comes to Madoka Magica, but we're just not gonna get into that.
Nah, nah, fuck that. Fuck that. Do you have anything else to add to the topic.
Like the music is really good, but like, what else is new?
Something else?
You have to do the closing statement.
If you're looking to get surprised, but you won't be surprised because if somehow you've listened to the end of this podcast,
You fucking screwed yourself over.
and you haven't watched the movies, you won't be surprised from the plot twists, right? Because we literally spoiled everything. So I don't know if you're gonna wanna watch it then, but the fight scenes are worth checking out on YouTube at least. I'll give it that much. It's really weird and different. If you wanna watch it, honestly, it's probably gonna be like more of you're gonna enjoy it most likely, but at the same time you're gonna be like, what the fuck did I just watch? You know, at least that's what I was left with.
Especially the rebellion ending. It's like, oh, that was an ending.
Yep. And
it's a twist.
There's lots of twists. And you're probably gonna want to see the fourth movie, and who knows what the fuck about it. Honestly, I don't think there's anything else to say. We did talk about just about everything in the movie.
I don't know, it's better that we leave this short because I'm trying a whole nother system and I'm already scared about the audio. Hopefully I can salvage it.
Oh, do your closing intro then.
Okay, thanks for listening this week. No, it's gonna be weird because I'm gonna upload another one and then I'm gonna upload this one, so it's like 2 in 3 days. And I was like, I'm a professional.
A professional indeed.
What the fuck do I press?